What's up, you guys? Welcome back. Thank you for tuning in to another The Purpleprint edition. The reason I wanted to bring you guys this video is that I feel like it's a really important aspect in the dating world, the dating game, whatever you call it, if you will. If you get to that stage, right? If you get to that stage. A lot of y'all not getting to the he took you out to dinner and paid for it stage. That's a crucial stage, okay? That's a crucial stage. You want to make sure he takes you out to dinner before you really do anything else together. Very important. I honestly feel like going out to dinners particularly was a really great way for me and my husband to get to know each other before we got married. This is the time that you can see how much of a gentleman he is, if of course you're looking for a gentleman, right? Some of y'all looking for what are they saying? Good wood. If he look good and the wood good. Okay, so then you're gonna get what you get, right? If he look good and the wood good, right? Like, you're gonna get what you get. And it's probably gonna be top tier for you. Probably gonna be Cheesecake Factory, all right? It's probably gonna be Cheesecake Factory. So if you wanna go to super nice restaurants, 4 or 5 star restaurants, Michelin star restaurants, and be treated like the lady, the boss that you know you deserve to be, keep watching. When it comes to finding restaurants to eat at, of course, you have your top tier 4 or 5 star restaurants, your Michelin restaurants. But some of my favorite restaurants to eat at have been Brazilian steakhouses and also like Japanese restaurants. I just find like the food when you eat at these places, so it tends to be satisfying, but it doesn't make you full, right? And you can try new things and you can talk about the dishes. Don't just choose the typical American fanfare restaurant, even though those are great and amazing. Those are for later on in the relationship dates, you know, when you're totally comfortable with each other and you can like be eating burgers in front of each other's face. But when you're starting out, you're not there yet, okay? Unless you're some cool laid back person and that's your thing and that's you guys' thing, then you are there, okay? This video is truly for everyone. There's much more on my Patreon where I vlog and show you guys my dates and things that we go on. I think it's really important to understand what the restaurant atmosphere is like. For starters, when you enter the restaurant, never look amazed, right? Especially when, like, as a Black woman, they're always like, this is the restaurant chandelier, right? And then they like open the door and everyone's looking at you to be amazed, right? Because you're looking good and they're like, oh my God, they're looking at you like you're Annie, you know? Like they're looking at you like you just got in Daddy Warbucks, you know, home and you're the little orphan Annie and you're like looking around with your big bright eyes. It's like, and it doesn't matter how top tier the space is, okay? I literally like went to the Met one year, like a gala at the Met. It was so magical, and I'm like, this is something that everyone should experience. But the bottom line is, you can save your awe for moments like that, but like when it comes to eating out in restaurants, it's like, of course I'm eating out here. This is what I expect. No one else here was amazed to come in. They just walked through the door. So always remember that. And so when people look at you for your reaction, that might make them a little disappointed to see the truth, which is that you're like, okay, great. Like we're out to eat, right? It's a restaurant. Even though it's the most beautiful thing you've ever seen. Now, of course, you don't have to like look bored and like yawn and be like, what a boring restaurant. Yawn, right? You don't have to do all of that. Don't project and don't fake the funk, you know? But I'm just saying, don't be like, oh my God. You know how we can be. You know how women can be. You know how Black women can be, right? Like, we don't have to do all that, right? We can be like, oh, it's beautiful. Wow. I love the ambiance. Oh, wow, that's really pretty, right? Like, that's something that I do. I'm like, oh, that's really pretty. But it's not like I'm gonna be like, oh my God. Right? Okay, so don't be too impressed by what you experience when a guy takes you out, okay? Because no matter where he takes you, he can always take you somewhere better. Like I said, you want to make sure you're going to top tier restaurants, 4 or 5 stars, and or Michelin restaurants, okay? Why? Because these are places that care about the quality of service that they deliver. So that means when you're looking for restaurants, you're like, where do you want to go? Make sure it's always a top tier restaurant, because that's where you're going to get the best service. And if he's willing to spend $70, he should be willing to spend $200-$300, right? For a date. I mean, am I wrong? I'm just saying, if you guys are at that level in life, and most importantly, if he's at that level, maybe you're at that level, but you know he's not, right? Because he doesn't make that kind of money. You know what I'm saying? Then adjust accordingly. So now you're in the restaurant, all right? You sit down. Once again, I'm gonna bring you guys some visuals from dates and moments that I've had throughout the video. One of the things that I feel like is most important for you to do on a date with a high quality man is to start out with ordering the oysters, okay? And the oysters will probably be at the top left corner of the menu in the appetizers and or seafood, etc. section, okay? Oysters are such a great way to start your top tier meal off because one, oysters clean the palate. They basically like cleanse your palate and make the flavors that you taste afterwards, after you eat the oysters, even more amazing. So what's not to love about that, okay? Also, oysters are an aphrodisiac, right? So it's super cute and it's super sexy and it's super fun. Of course, you're probably like, ew, oysters, gross, right? That's probably because you haven't had great oysters, top tier oysters. Oysters are really good, and especially if you can get used to eating them. It's something that you just kind of have to make yourself do. As long as you're not ordering oysters from like a pizza place, Tony's Pizza Parlor, you know what I'm saying? Like, I wouldn't order the oysters from Tony's Pizza Parlor, okay? But when you're going to a nice restaurant, the oysters are always a really great way to start the meal off. And then, you know, usually, you know, you can ask for half a dozen, and more, right? And so say you get a dozen, you can have 6, he can have 6. And you're both like eating off the tray and it's super cute, right? And it's super sensual because you got like the shell and you're like doing your thing. Now don't get the oysters and like, ew, gross, and then only eat one and then leave the rest. Like, don't do that, you know, because it is rude to like order food and be like, ew, gross. If there's nothing wrong with it, you need to learn how to just give it a try. Like, I'm a foodie, so I'm all about giving new foods a try, okay? Another important tip you want to remember when you're eating out is do not overdrink, okay? This is so important because one, if you overdrink, it'll make you really sleepy and lethargic. You might say something you might regret. You might behave in a way that you might regret. And obviously, you don't want to be sending the wrong signals and be suggestive when you're not trying to be suggestive, right? Things like that. You want to make sure that you have control over the evening as best as possible. So it's very important to not overdrink. And for a lady, that's probably going to be, you know, 1 to 2 drinks for most of you. A boss like me, maybe 3. Okay. Also, a very good idea to eat something before you leave for your date. That way, you can try oysters and you can try different foods and you don't have to worry about being hungry, right? Because you already ate. And so that's really important to keep in mind in ordering like a boss, but eating like a mouse. You gotta use all of the tricks at your disposal, okay? Especially the more sensitive the nature of the date, right? You know, if you're 19, you can flop You can flop some dates, right? The older you get, the more you want to not be flopping dates, right? You don't want to be fumbling the bag. Okay, so you've ordered your oysters for your appetizer. Like, what's next? Okay, I would say probably they're gonna ask you what you want to drink before they ask you about the appetizers. Order something light and refreshing, definitely for your first drink, and take it from there. You definitely don't want to be ordering anything, any dark liquors, you know, brandy, the cognac. Keep it easy. Take it easy, ladies. Even if the guy is like ordering drinks like that, you know, unless he's like, I don't know, James Bond or, you know, like Sean Connery himself, I just don't see why he would be drinking like heavy liquor. One of my favorite cocktails to order, and I always get it if it's on the menu wherever I go, is the lychee cocktail. And this drink was a bit watery. It was not for me, but I think I'm gonna like this one. It's a lychee. I love a lychee. That's another thing, ladies. I've done videos trying to help you guys out on this one. Of course, they're all on my Patreon, but like, order the lychee cocktail. Thank me later. I love the lychee cocktail because it's the epitome of exactly what I was talking about. That light, refreshing drink that is sweet. It's not too sweet. You know, it's fruity. It's just a really great drink to get. It's always got the cute little lychee fruit at the bottom. Keep that in mind, the lychee martini. Okay. I saw one of Shira Seven's videos about eating out, and she was saying, don't eat fettuccine Alfredo. And I mean, I couldn't say it better myself. I think I have said it in some of my vlogs, but if I haven't made it clear, of course, you don't order fettuccine Alfredo on a date, because that's like, it's just like a kid's meal, okay? It's basically like Chef Boyardee for adults, okay? It's just, it's not a good look. Some other things that you should keep in mind that you probably shouldn't order, right? Spaghetti and meatballs. Watch out for the pastas in general. I wouldn't really be ordering pasta. A linguine is fine, a linguine pasta, but try to impress him and, you know, surprise him by ordering one of my favorites, which is the Wagyu steak. And that's just a top tier, high quality steak. You have different varieties of steak. You have the filet mignon, tends to not have as much fat on it as other cuts of steak have. So filet mignon is a great steak to eat when you're out on a date. And then you can get vegetables as a side. And now you're eating healthy, you're eating good, and probably impressing him with your fine culinary expertise.
I'm going to take this as an opportunity to remind you ladies to stop talking with your mouth full when you're eating at dinner. A lot of y'all keep forgetting that.
I personally love when you're out on a date to have the porterhouse for two. But you guys have to know each other first because you don't know what he wants. Nobody wants to share a meal on the first date. You don't have to eat from the same plate, but they bring it out and then they bring different plates for you guys to put it on. The porterhouse is also a really great cut of steak. Of course, if you're vegetarian, don't worry about that. Order something vegetarian, but keep it bougie and keep it cute. One of the things that you should keep in mind is truffle butter. All right, truffle butter. Basically, truffles, anything. If you see truffles on the menu, feel free to add that as well. Of course, this is if you're out with a top tier, high quality man. I mean, pretty much every guy is like a high quality man nowadays because they're telling women what they want. So since they're all high quality, feel free to order the truffles. That's gonna be costly. You might want to ask before you add some, depending on some of the type of truffles that they have. But you know, truffles will come in, and there'll be white truffles, black truffles, varieties of different types of truffles. Even if it's just ordering truffle butter for a side with your steak, don't skip over the truffles, because that's a sign that you've eaten out, you know, at quality places, and you know what you're talking about, you know what you're doing.
Now, as you can see, while hubby's fries are practically gone, I have barely touched mine. That's how you dine out like a boss. but eat like a mouse. Okay? My plate, his plate. His meat's all gone. His veggies are still there because he's a guy. I'm gonna eat all my veggies. Believe me.
When it comes to dessert, I always love to order a creme brulee if they have some type of vanilla scoop of ice cream, but a creme brulee is usually my go-to.
Creme brulee for the lady. I'm trying to help y'all out. Nobody else is doing this for you guys. That's facts.
It's a creamy, custardy type of filling, and then they basically like use a torch, a flame like torch in the back, you know, a little tiny miniature one, basically set fire to the top layer, and so that caramelizes, and it tastes amazing. A creme brulee, okay?
So they have a blowtorch in the kitchen, and they use that to make this layer on top here that's hardened, and then underneath the hardened layer is this creamy pudding paste-like substance. Bon appetit.
Don't get the Jell-O, get the creme brulee. Creme brulee is not expensive. You shouldn't have a problem with you ordering creme brulee. I will say one of the final bosses as a foodie that I've come across in my foodie adventures has been caviar. Caviar is very tricky because you can go to a great place and they just don't have great caviar. But generally, if the location is great and reputable, the caviar will be great as well. So if you can order something that has a little bit of caviar in it, also do that, and really try to work on expanding your taste buds and being adventurous and having fun. Because I feel like at the end of the day, everyone likes that, you know, and if you're looking for a high quality guy, he'll like that in you as well. A couple other things to keep in mind as we're closing out is make sure that you guys are ordering different things, right? My husband likes burgers, and I'm not gonna order a burger every time he orders a burger just because he likes burgers. You really just gonna order a burger on a burger with my burger? Like, I'm not, no, he's obsessed with burgers. I can't deal with it, right? He'll order a burger, I'll order a steak, and you know, the things that I've talked to you guys about today, right? You wanna make sure that you're using your opportunities to dine out to expand your palate and knowledge of various foods, because that's important in growing as a person. If you want to meet new, exciting people, you want to give them somebody new and exciting, you know, to meet as well, right? So keep that in mind. You want to make sure that you're thinking of it like Papa Bear, Mama Bear, Baby Bear plates, right? And so for you as the lady, you can probably order, you know, you can order Mama to Baby Bear size plates, right? You don't want to order the Papa Bear size plate just because he's eating a bunch. Don't let that confuse you. Don't get it twisted, because especially the more you guys are together as a couple, the longer that you're together, you'll find that the guy is encouraging you to eat like him because he wants to get away with certain things. And these are all things that guys do to really throw you off your feminine game, not on purpose, but it happens, right? So you always want to make sure that you're keeping in mind, if he's Papa Bear, I'm Mama Bear, and I can get Mama Bear and or Baby Bear size portions, right? But I'm not going to try to eat, you know, like the Papa Bear, okay? So just keep those things in mind. I really hope this has helped a lot of you ladies. Over here at the Purpleprint, I'm all about tangible techniques and skills that we can use to achieve the effects that we want to see. It's really that simple, right? You put in work, you get a certain outcome. I hope this has helped some of you. Leave me a comment. Don't forget to subscribe, hit the notification bell, and I'll see you guys next time.